We back up in this bitch.
If they wanted to take it outside in the parking lot, the ex-wife and her homegirl would have been well within her right to put a little beat down on the mistress.
Oh my
Hey.
God, I just want to get on this mic and talk to my girl.
And we still got some fucking ninjas out here that don't know no
Hmm.
better.
How dare you? You think that it's appropriate to take a woman, a young woman who is still a minor, and put her in front of the congregation to apologize?
Him, he's just a ninja. I mean, he was cheating from the door. She said it. He didn't give a shit about nobody but himself.
We might find out some shit tomorrow that we had no idea. So I'm just gonna sit and wait.
Listen, something don't smell right to me, but I'm going to mind my business. But I'm not because I want to know what y'all think.
So stop acting like, oh, we're not taking handouts. Bitch, you are a handout. You taking our money.
Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to Three Aunties and a Mic, the podcast about grown folks ish. I am your girl, V with the T. And I have with me Weekday with the everyday drama and Miss Bookworm with the read. What's up, ladies?
What's up? What's up?
Hello, 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 hello. What's going on?
Not much, not much. Well, let me
It is
explain what I
much.
got. This, I'm out here trying to be grown. I got
Uh-oh.
my nose pierced again a couple months ago, and I done got some kind of infection. It looks disgusting. I can't get the
Wow.
damn ring out my nose. My doctor tried. I tried. I got to go back to the piercer or the urgent care to get them to cut it out.
Mm.
Wait a minute.
I think what happened. So this is what I think happened. Y'all know I got this little tiny nose. So my glasses all day are falling off my nose because I ain't got no real bridge to keep them up, and that's hitting the nose ring. So that's causing
Right.
Okay.
trauma. And then I have a CPAP machine, and because I'm a nose breather, it has to go up under my nostrils. It
Oh,
can't go
Yeah.
over, and so then that's squishing my nose for 8 hours at night, and then I'm releasing that, and then and I think it's just trauma. I think trauma caused what we
Wow.
got going on here. So I'm looking real crazy.
so the earring is, did they just give you an antibiotic maybe? And is the
Yes, I have the
earring trying
antibiotic.
to come out? Why won't it come out though?
I think because it's just always it's hard to get them out to begin with because it's one of those screw
Oh.
top ones. And so
Oh,
trying to
okay.
unscrew it with the bubble I got going over here that's bleeding and trying to
Oh,
do
okay.
it's just a mess. So it's just
Gotcha.
hard to get that grip to be able to
So
unscrew it. But I'm
the
on
infection
antibiotics three
has to
times a
go
day.
away. Yeah. The infection has to go away before it could probably be, because it's
Hmm.
probably swollen. And
Hmm.
once the swelling goes down and all of that, then the, like you said, the piercing person could probably use a proper tool, because this
Yeah.
ain't the first time a piercer has had to unpierce someone.
No.
I can't
And
believe that.
yeah, Google told me to keep it in because, it closes up so fast. Because that's what
Yeah,
happened
it
why I had to
does.
get it pierced the second time because my first nose ring from my glasses sliding down, it loosened it up and it fell out. And I couldn't find it.
Gotcha.
And my hole like closed up almost like within a day.
Yeah.
So they suggest you not take the earring out because it could close up and then the bacteria can get stuck in there. But my doctor said, no, let's take it out. I'm gonna put you on an antibiotic so you'll be fine, but we can't keep this in here, which I agreed with her.
No.
So I'm
Right.
Okay.
on an antibiotic, but I can't get the damn thing out. So that's why I'm sitting
Yeah,
here
it's
looking
probably
like,
swollen.
yeah.
Yeah.
And see, I
So
thought it was an allergy strip. I was like, damn, your allergies is real. You could have told me it was an allergy strip, and my ass would have believed you 110%. Believe me. I was like, oh, they got them now? Because I surely will put one on. If my kids can walk around
mm-mm.
with freaking pimple patches and stars and purple smiley faces all over, surely I could wear an allergy strip during the day. I was about to say, put me down.
So I'm just hoping I went to the doctor because I was like, I don't need to turn it into a keloid and you
Yeah.
know. So
Oh yeah, because we
yeah.
scar, we keloid like that. Yep, yep.
Hmm.
Black folks.
So we'll see. But I said let me cover it up for the podcast. So I don't scare nobody. But when I went to the doctor yesterday, you couldn't even see the ring. I told her, I promise you, it's in there.
It's swollen.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
It was
Swollen.
swollen.
so
Yup.
swollen that it had covered up the ear. Yeah, you couldn't even see it.
But I'm surprised
So
she just won't let the swelling go down first before y'all try to dig it out.
Right,
well,
right. That's what I would think.
I think because of how bad it was looking, I
Okay.
think she was just trying to get it out to give me so we could
Some
start
relief.
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 Um,
Yeah. So, but we couldn't do
Did
it.
she
So
tell
we
you
were
to
like,
maybe ice it? Just, put some ice on it periodically to help that swelling go
she
down?
just told me to keep using the saline spray to clean it, and then as soon as I can get to somebody that can get it out, and then I'm on my antibiotics. So we'll
Gotcha.
see. Yeah. So what's going on with you, weekday?
okay. Um,
She said okay, like I couldn't wait for y'all to ask me how I'm doing.
no, no. You know
Because
what?
I got something to tell us.
Okay, so you guys know that I'm giving this mini session of my sneakers and snacks.
Yep.
My interactive. I think people not understanding, and I argue with somebody about is this a craft thing, and I had to tell somebody this is not a craft. I am not explaining to you what to do. I'm letting you show me what you can do. I'm not here. I'm not going to critique you because that's not my business. DIY for me means design it yourself. This is where
Yeah.
you get and you express the best person out of you. And sometimes we need someone to push the inner us. And sometimes we don't. But if I give you a project to do, right, that little space, then you're going to do it exactly like everybody else. Well, that doesn't make you original. And it really doesn't make the project original. So, girl, these people been driving me crazy. I got
What
people
don't
saying,
they understand?
well, first of all, reading is fundamental. Nobody reads.
Well, yeah.
I
Yeah.
get
Well,
notes
no.
saying where is the event going to be at? Well, if you look at the video, which my content person put in closed caption everything that I say, so and you still ask where the event's going to be. So right now I have somebody writing me. Surprisingly, the person that's writing me, he's shocking me at this point, because it's somebody that's well known in Philly, and I'm like, huh,
You can't be
okay.
this slow.
No, 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 no. Surprisingly, he's not asking me any questions about it. He said, "I want us to hook up. I want us to do this," and I'm like, "Okay." And that's why I'm looking back at him. But girl, these people have been driving me nuts. I've had people call me. I had somebody post saying, "I just want your phone number because I like you." Boo boo.
What? People
This is not
are nuts. Oh,
because I've
see,
done
yup.
two
Let me stop
videos,
with my
and I'm
little
like,
middle schoolers.
let me
Oh
tell
my
y'all
gosh,
something.
that's
As
funny.
raggedy, I done did two videos with a sweatshirt on, no lipstick. Y'all know I don't wear no lipstick. I mean, no makeup. So lipstick is the closest thing I'm gonna put on. And you talking about I want your number, sir? Bye. No,
It's
no, no,
not
no,
even that.
no.
I'm working. You have
Yeah,
audacity to try to shoot your shot while I'm working.
I'm in my hustle mode. I'm like, okay, but anyway,
Right, right.
I'm over. Listen, I can't. I want everybody to enjoy it because I don't think they really understand what it's about. But I'm looking forward to it. Trying to get people understanding that somebody said, I thought it was going to be all day. No, boo boo, you got to book a slot. I'm not going to spend all day with you where there's other people that are going to come by around to ask to bring their sneaks. And I had this one good conversation. She was like, oh, I'm getting ready for the Salt and Pepper concert. And I'm like, this is smart.
Oh,
She said, and I'm thinking about going, what kind of sneaks should I get? I said, what you wearing? It doesn't matter for me. I said, but you know what? She said, I'm gonna go to Walmart and get me some Chucks, girl. I said, they're the best because we really can do some work and decorate them and make them really
all
look hard.
nothing
Yeah,
but canvas.
that's right. I said this could be a really fun experience for you. So, well, I'm looking forward to
She could
Saturday. I
spray
want
paint her
everybody to
name
know.
on them, or like have like the little
Yeah,
Everything,
sprinkles, like spray paint
yeah,
her name or something.
everything.
everything. I mean, I had paint and everything. And I'm like, you can paint, I said, but it's only 30 minutes. She said, you think I can get things done in 30 minutes? You can get something done in 30 minutes.
Oh,
And we can help you.
wait, wait,
I'm
wait.
here to guide you. My job is like I keep telling people
Bookworm was like, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up.
in 30 minutes I
You
can do
told the
listen.
lady. get some shit done in 30 minutes. I
Yes,
don't give a damn what you do, but you gonna do something, and you got
something that is
30 minutes to
minutes
do
to
it.
do it. That's right. Um, I mean, it's only 4 hours that I'm
She
going
said
to
it's
be
a
there.
mini session, right?
It's a
I
mini
know,
session.
but
Yeah,
she
you get
told you
30
you
minutes.
gonna get some shit done. You better
Yeah.
work fast. Hurry up. But you
But you'll
told her
be,
you gonna get
you
something
guys will
done.
be surprised that it
Oh yeah,
doesn't
you
take as
can.
long for certain
Nah,
things not to
Mm-mm.
get done. And I'm going to guide her. And I told her I'm going to guide you not to get pricked by a pen, not to get burned by the
right.
glue gun. That's
Glue
really my
gun. Yup.
job. I said, but I'm going to guide you on some things that you can do. If you
How to
want to
use
do
the
more,
tools properly.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. To get over it and get it done. But no, it's a mini session. So I don't know what people think that my full session is 2 hours to 2.5 hours. There's no way
Yeah.
that you're gonna. I can't help you build a house in 2 hours. But I can get you
Right,
some foundation down and get you, to kind of say, okay, I could do this a little bit more at home. Let's do some of the
Right.
things that
Yeah.
you don't want to,
right.
that
Right.
you don't want to do. It's just to get you
Child.
going in Jesus God. But yeah, so that's been the craziness. Plus, I got rid of T-Mobile. You know what? I told T-Mobile I was going to dog their name today. Yes, we will. How do
She
I
told
send
you.
back
Why
your
she
equipment?
always got to use this platform to do this shit? Go
I
ahead,
don't
Uncle
care.
Well.
Jay.
I cover a lot of people on this
Well.
platform that do this, right? T-Mobile, why y'all charge me? And then she gonna tell me when I call. She said we charge you for the month of March. Boo boo, we're in April. You just charged me on April the 20th. When did
Oh,
that
we
become
deep
March?
in the April.
No, you charged me from April to May. I said, well, I returned your equipment on April 19th. And she's like, you're not going to get your money back. We're not going to prorate you. You just pay for it. I said, not when I don't have any service. So me and her back and forth. And my point really is about the customer service. People that doesn't exist anymore. We need to let that go. It just
You
doesn't.
right.
I mean, and this heifer was from another damn country, probably Latin America, talking shit to me. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna let you have that, except for you need to give me some documentation that says that you can't prorate me my money. You can't run my money back to me. Pretty much is what I said to her. So
Right.
she said, hold on for a second. I said, I'm gonna hold on for whatever time I said, because I will dog T-Mobile's name up and down these streets
Well, we
today.
know.
And so she comes she said, oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Yes, we will prorate you the money. We canceled you today. I said, that was yesterday. And I said, okay, but I returned your equipment on the 19th. I haven't had T-Mobile, and you're telling me that I'm paying for this for the month of April. She said, now the new bill's for the month of April. Stop lying. We don't never pay a back bill. I
It's
don't remember
always
anybody.
forward.
It's always forward. So I need y'all to run me my money and stop
Right.
playing with my money, T-Mobile. I don't care what you say. Give me my money back. Just the T-Mobile wasn't working in my house. That's all it is. I have nothing
They
against
waiting
y'all, but
on their
today,
tariff rebate. They gotta
but
wait on their
listen,
tariff rebate.
you know that lying man. Y'all know what happened.
I'm
There are
just
people.
saying.
There are people in Atlantic City that are fully retired and still waiting for their money to be run back about them casinos. Come on now, let's stop playing.
It's the tariff rebate. When they get their
Okay.
money, you'll get
There are
your
people
money.
there are people fully retired and still wondering where that money came from that Taj Mahal. Okay. I'm gonna leave that
That's
right there for
funny.
y'all to think about. Okay. But other than that, I'm getting ready for this event, and guys, I'm in project mode. I'm making my potato chip covers. I gotta show them to you. I done made them. But that's not, I keep trying to tell people, that's not what I want to do. So please don't be calling me talking about, oh, can you cover my potatoes? Girl, listen, I'll put them in a bag. That's not that's not the line of
Wait,
business I'm going to.
why don't you make kits? People could buy the kits and
You
then
know
they
what?
could
And
do it
that's a great
themselves.
suggestion. That's a great suggestion. The problem is
Yeah,
trying to
just
figure
sell
out
the kit.
what people want in a kit is going to be the hardest thing, because the
Your
paint.
website will give
Yeah,
them
Do
the
them
choices.
themes.
A,
yeah,
B, C.
yeah,
Do them themes,
yeah,
like a
yeah,
themed kit. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, if you want
That's
like
a good
hip hop,
suggestion. Yeah,
if you want glam,
that's it.
yeah, that's a good.
like,
That's a good
yeah,
suggestion. I like
That's
that.
it. And they
And
can they can
the
take it
last
on in.
piece, and the last piece of people for you people that think, oh, I'm gonna go do this and start running the street. Go to a website called ustpo.com. .gov. Check yourself. I'm gonna leave that there for you to think about. All right.
You see me.
It's the trademark office. I can't with this kid.
I know. I was like, wait a minute. I know that's what that is. But oh boy.
Okay. So if you want to run
Anywho,
around talking about you gonna do sneakers and snacks, I'm gonna need you to run me my money, and my attorney will contact you in the morning. I mean, and people don't know, even though I'm still in the process of it,
I've seen
I
that
still own
happen.
that
Yeah.
TM until they can they say no. So
Yeah.
yeah, be careful out here
what's
in these
going on
streets.
with you, bookworm?
Oh, I'm not doing anything but being outside. And we are at the height of allergy season. New Jersey is in a mood. I think we are the only state that is experiencing all four seasons
Oh
in
God, that's
one
horrible.
day. It is bad. It is rainy. It is cold. Some people, after having our air on, you're putting on the heat now to get the chill out the house. Some frost has been showing up for the past 2 days. It's just crazy. But my daughter runs high school track and she's a freshman. So this is all new to me. High school track. They have like 2 meets a week. And
Mm.
those meets, I'm not getting in the house until like 8 o'clock. Like I literally just picked her up and we walked in the house 25 minutes before our recording time. And we record at night, y'all. So yeah, so but nonetheless, it's fun, I guess, until it's not. So we in the swing of things now, and we in the beginning of it, and the weather is holding up. I mean, my out. You see me? I'm pushing the mute button, sneezing and carrying on. But yeah. So that's all I got going on. That and it's prom time. So yesterday we went to pick up a prom suit for my middle child, and he went right to the store, picked it out. They did all the alterations and was like, boom, come back next week. I was like, oh, this is pretty good. I didn't know. I don't even begin to know how it is picking out suits and all of that that need adjustments. You know,
Hmm.
his little church suits came up off the rack. So
Right.
I'm like, this is the first time, but that was pretty fun. And so I'm excited about prom, and graduation will be next, but that's a little bit, my heart starts palpitating because I just can't, fathom we just did kindergarten to now senior year,
Mm.
and I'm bugging out. So, but other than that, that's all I got going on is high school shit for both kids.
Is your
And
daughter
then my little elementary shit.
is your daughter going to pen relays? Pen relays this
No,
weekend.
because all of the school tryouts and all of that happened during spring break,
Yeah. Okay.
and we were away on spring break.
Okay.
So, I think there's only maybe we have from our high school, we have runners there the entire starting tomorrow. The bus
Tomorrow.
leaves tomorrow
Mhm.
at 7 o'clock. So
Mhm. Yeah.
she's pretty happy because Thursday and Friday they don't have practice because
Practice.
a
Mhm.
lot of the coaches are at the Penn relays. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm glad she ain't going to nobody's Penn relays. I've been there. When I used to
Loved
work in
it.
Philadelphia with the school district, we were able to take the kids to the Penn Relays as a field trip. So we would go on that Friday, and since it's all public transportation, we would just hop on the SEPTA and take it on down, and go there, and it was a free event. And when if we did have to pay, the school district, we get the voucher for that. And so I've been there numerous
I have
times.
too. Every year.
But whoo, I'm glad that this being her freshman year, I'm like, okay, I see we got and she's fast, good grief. I ain't have no idea. The girl been cheering
Mhm.
and dancing for since she was 3 and 5. Now it's this track stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, go girl. And I can't even upload the videos, y'all, because I have to figure out how to keep it silent because I'm the mom videotape and I'm getting good shots, but I'm also screaming, "Go, Joy! Go!" Oh, well, yeah, that ain't even her real name. So go ahead. I just be screaming out her name and all kinds of stuff, but and I'm in the video, and then my husband's like, "Let me see the video," and then it's all up and down. I'm trying to keep her in the. It's a mess. So that's all I got going on is just track season, which is new, prom season, and then graduation. And I'm gonna be a blubbering mess for graduation. So that's that
Oh.
on that. I'm not ready for that. And I did walk in the Dollar Tree yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, and they had all the graduation stuff out, and I was like, "Oh God, no! I'm gonna have to smoke a joint before I go in here because I'm just gonna,
Oh, you
have
were
a
at the
whole
million.
complete." Well,
You were at
first
the
of all, Imma
million dollar
buy up
store.
everything. Yeah, but I'm just gonna be a mess,
Yeah.
that kid, that's my
Stay out,
kid. That's my boy.
stay
That's
out
the
the
one.
million
That's
dollar
the one
store.
that'll put. Yeah, that's what you say?
Stay out the $1 million store.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
call it the
I know,
top
right?
store right now. The $1 million store. They're million
Well, that's where
prices.
I'm gonna be buying all the you know, graduation decor and all of that crazy unnecessary stuff. And y'all, it ain't for him. It really is not. It's for me.
It's never for them. It's
It's for
always
me.
for us. Hmm.
That's
But
all. And that's how
like
it
I had
is.
told my daughter that just graduated nursing school, this ain't about you. This is not about you. So you gonna like this brunch that I'm gonna giving
And that's
you,
it.
and you gonna smile while I do it.
Yeah. He don't want to party. He don't. I'm like, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. But
Mhm.
the girl bringing up the rear, don't worry about it. You can throw the biggest party you want to for my graduation and for prom. I'ma want the biggest dress off the rack, so she's gonna be all the bells and whistles and push me over the edge. But nonetheless, that's all I got going on this spring. And I think I got a birthday coming up this weekend, but that too. It's Taurus season.
It is.
It's Taurus
Yes,
season,
it
baby.
is.
Hmm. Yeah, I know.
So, I got distracted by something. My bad, y'all.
Mm,
My daughter, her sons, they are both under the weather. Well, one of them was under the weather, and then the other one started coughing. And so she was gonna call out, and I was like, "No, that's okay.
mm-mm.
I'll watch them. It's no problem. Go on to work." Forgetting I had to record podcast and
Ooh, well, let's make this quick, honey, cause
so
them
my
boys
husband
is
is
gonna be.
so well, one of them is asleep, so he easy. He,
Oh, okay.
the oldest is already in the bed. So my husband is texting me. That's what got me distracted. Like, when's the last time you gave him a bottle? And us two old folk ain't got no business with nobody newborn. We like,
What you trying to say?
wait,
It ain't like a
wait, wait.
bike. It ain't
I
like
said
a
just
bike. You don't remember
my
that shit.
my text back to him was like, just give it a shot, see if he takes it.
Oh, he will. Please,
I don't remember.
please.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's
So
how I'm gonna be as a grandparent. Come on over here and let me give you this bottle. You either gonna take it or you either want it or you don't.
and every
What?
time
What?
I give him a bottle, I change the diaper. I know my daughter is like, if you change one more diaper that don't need to be changed, I'm charging you.
Did you do that with them? Did you do that with them?
But
I didn't think
I
you
don't
did.
remember shit. Okay, I'm just gonna cover all my bases in one shot. That's all I got. He
You
cried. I'm
just
gonna
you.
change diapers and give him a bottle. I'm wasting formula and diapers. No, stop leaving me with this damn kid, because that's what I'm gonna do.
Feed them and change them, and that's it. Ain't nothing else. Ain't nothing else.
But he almost 3 months. I think sometimes he whining because he's like, I just want you to hold me. I just want you to
Yeah.
talk to me.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I don't stop
That's
stop force feeding me, woman.
that's it. That's
So
it.
anyway, it's time for read the room. So Bookworm, what you got for us this week?
Well, at the time of this recording, we're recording between April 19th and the 25th. So it is National Library Week. And that's always been sponsored by the American Library Association. And they have celebrated this week um, since 1958. So National Library Week has been going on for a long, long time. I really, really, really like this year's theme. It's Find Your Joy. Now, if that's not a theme for your ass, find your joy. And this year's honorary chair is also Michael Threets. He is the new host of the Reading Rainbow. So he is the chair, the honorary chair of Library Week. I also follow him on social media. I adore him. I adore him so much. So National Library Week is basically it's an annual celebration and it highlights the valuable roles of libraries, librarians, and just library workers, and how they transform lives and strengthen the communities. So each day of this week has a special meaning and a special thing that they tell you. So Monday was your right to read. Um, that is free. You in this country have the right to read. Every single person that is a part of your civil liberties, you have the right to read. So do it. No matter how you do it,
Mhm.
just do it. Tuesday was National Library Workers Day. So shout out to all of those who, are librarians and library workers, because not only the people who work in a library aren't all librarians. You have security in there, which is what I'm dying to do. Like, I swear I want to work part-time in a library. I really do. It's my dream job. Just put a uniform on me. I'll be like, stop running. Stop running in here. That's all. That's all I want to do. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so shout out to those who are working in the library. But I'm manifesting it now. I will be a library worker before I leave this here earth. Okay. So
I worked in the
Wednesday is,
library as in my my work study job in college.
oh, at
I worked in the
college.
library.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah, I worked
see.
in the library. That was my job.
See, that's where I should have worked. So Wednesday, National Library Outreach Day. This used to be formerly known as National Bookmobile, which was the
Oh,
outreach at the
yeah.
time. And honey, I used to love when the bookmobile came
I did too.
around.
Mhm.
I could see it. I could still smell it going up those. Oh my God, it just gives me chills. So that's what that was used to be, National Bookmobile Day. They just renamed it to National Library Outreach Day. And Thursday is Take Action for Libraries. Donating. Sometimes if you have books, you could take them to the library, donate them to the library, and they have book sales, used book sales all the time. So, and I used to attend that all the time. It was like recycling. Now I
Mhm.
take my books to the you see the little spots that they have for free little libraries. They look
Yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
houses and stuff. So
Mhm.
I carry, there's one at the shore, and I put books in there all the time. When we walk the boardwalk, I bring them up there and fill it up. And then I carry them in my car, because whenever I go to different spots and I see them, I love to just drop them in there and see what they have too. Because I've taken a book or two, out of those little
Mhm.
spots. So, and right now, we are in a current state of AI and Chat GPT, but it would behoove us to pick up, listen to research and rely on factual, information. And the library in person and online is really the place for it, and that's a perfect place to start. I know the library has tons of children's programs. They have programs for every and anybody,
They
places where you
do.
can display your
Mhm.
art. I mean, it's just go online and plug in your local library and see all of the things that they have to offer, especially now in the springtime. They have seeds, a lot of free packets of free seminars for the spring and the summer. It's just really dope. And also, an FYI, you can apply for a library card right now, and everything, all your past fines are waived. And how do I know this? I've done it because I didn't believe it. Because I owed a lot of money to the library. I done lost, messed with all kinds of books. So I had ran up fines. Wait a minute. I don't. All right, so you know how the ghetto folks back in the day used to put the electric and the water bill and the telephone bill in their kids' name. So all three of my kids might have
Mine do.
outstanding library
in the state
balances.
in the state of Maryland and the state of Jersey.
I'm saying, I mean, at least it wasn't, utilities. It was the library card, but all three of my kids, I'm pretty sure my husband, I done used all the, I done had a library card in all their names and everything. So, yeah. But I did check. It is all my fines were clear, and I had a number just like that. So give it a shot. Shout out to all those who are library workers, librarians. This is y'all week.
Yeah, I think
Reading
it's
is fundamental.
interesting.
It
Yeah, I think
sure
it.
is.
I agree. So recently, my one of my daughters, um, they were having a conversation, and it doesn't really matter the race, but I'll tell you the race just because of the context of it. But she has a friend that's white, and her black friends and the white friend were all talking, and somehow slavery came up in this conversation. And the white girl says something along the lines of, I don't understand, like, why y'all are tripping. Slavery wasn't that bad. And she called me and just was like making sure that she wasn't tripping, because she was like, I can't be her friend anymore, because like this is
Make
crazy.
sure she
But
wasn't tripping. Girl, I would have choked what? Huh? White
you
tea.
know,
Know your place. Know your
but
place,
I
people.
think that and I explained to her, I think it's a shame, because I feel like the schools have whitewashed, I guess that's the best word, right? Whitewashed history. And
Yep.
she's getting this from growing up in a town that was white majority white,
Hmm.
and what she's learned from school. The way
Hmm.
she talked about it was like they worked, they had a place to live. Like, she doesn't understand any of slavery at all. It's been glorified to her.
She think they
And
indentured servants and some shit.
right. And it just reminds me that it's so important to do your own research, go into these
Yep.
libraries, pick up some books, learn about things that they're not teaching you in these schools, because schools have this curriculum and what they're not going to
Yep.
talk about and what
They're
they are going to
changing
talk
it up.
about.
Yep.
And it's important to go beyond that schoolhouse and go into these libraries. And the reason I said that I have fines in Maryland and New Jersey is because that's where my children were the youngest. As a
Hmm.
stay-at-home mom, I stayed in the library. I was
We
at
were in it.
everybody's. Yes, anytime they had, story time or
Circle time.
activities or
Yep. Hmm.
crafts or things for me to do when I just needed a break as a stay-at-home mom, and just getting in those book sales,
Oh yeah.
loved it. I would go with a
Hmm.
whole crate, but
Yep.
it's just important for you to step outside of what they're teaching you in these institutions. Go beyond that. Libraries are
Yeah.
so important, and I'm thankful that with everything and all the craziness going on, that they are still alive and kicking. that they haven't
Yeah.
shut them down. And
Right.
we need to make sure that we're using them. We're getting library cards, and your library card can get you into places for free, like
Yes.
museums and zoos and
Yes.
all kinds of
Yes.
things.
Yep.
So, and I just think if more
Yeah.
people utilize that and read more, like they said, reading is fundamental. If people do that, then they might not make some of those stupid comments like this young
Yeah.
lady did.
Oh
Where
no,
she
but
just
I mean, I'm
doesn't
never
get it.
I'm never surprised because my sister was telling me my 11-year-old nephew, they told they were going through American history and they said it was colonization, that the North and the South was fighting about colonization. Are y'all fucking kidding me? She said she freaked out. She said I went and grabbed some books and she said and we started
Especially
reading.
in that state.
Yeah, in Texas.
Especially in
Yeah,
that state.
that they said because the North was more um was it
Industrial.
industrialized.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the South was agricultural. I
Oh
said, what
god.
kind of what crackle bullshit is somebody trying to sell us here? Okay, but they're just so white tea. Let me help y'all out. They're trying to make you feel guilty about the fact that y'all were really slaves in Europe. Okay, and y'all came over here and brought that slave mentality over here. So if you
And
want
I
me to
just want
give you a full history lesson on this, call
well,
me up. I mean,
yeah,
because
go
you can
ahead.
Google it. You can Google it. It's out there.
Yeah. And I think it's important to note too, it's not just the white people. Like it's these young
Right.
some of these young black
Yeah, that's
kids
true.
don't know any better either, because again, it's what they're being taught in these
Mm,
schools.
Or the lack
The
of what
lack
they're
right.
of
being taught.
Yeah.
the
Yup.
lack of
Yup.
what if they're being
That's
taught,
why
and
it's
how
important
they're
as
trying to make
African
this one big
Americans,
beautiful picture, and it's not
as
that.
African Americans, it's our responsibility to teach our children Black history, and we
Mhm.
need to step up. And like I said, you can Google every damn thing else, and
Gee,
reading is
Ugo.
fun. Reading is fundamental. That
Yeah,
really
you have
pissed
Yeah.
me
to
off.
go beyond the
Yeah,
chat
that's
GPTs
right.
and the AIs of it all,
Yeah,
because remember that information was fed into that
Yeah.
same software
that's right.
by whoever wanted that information to
Hmm.
be.
Mhm.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
can't take that. Get some encyclopedias. Go smell the inside of a library. It's a
Well,
nice place to be.
see,
Yes. Yes.
G Google still tells you AI may not, or Chat GPT, but G Google definitely will give you the rundown because they haven't gotten whitewashed as of yet.
Yeah.
So yet,
Yeah.
okay.
So, speaking of kind of along those lines and whitewashed and what you've been taught and etc. So, y'all know recently T.I.'s son was arrested, and a lot of people have started talking about how he portrays something that he's not, right? So, he's from a very rich family, mama and daddy, and he acts as though he's from the streets, that he's about this hood life, this gangster life, and he's not. And it brought up the fact that there is a lot of young men and young women out here portraying a fraud.
Mhm.
Do y'all remember that movie, the ATL, the movie with the
Yeah,
Ti was in
yes,
that
yeah.
movie?
Ti was in it. Yeah, with Lauren London.
Yeah, and Lauren London pretended to be from the hood when she was really from this like suburban place, and she was
Yep,
doing all of this and popping the
yep.
gum and
Until they
yeah,
found
and
out.
stuff. Right, right. So, it just I just thought this would be a good topic for tonight to just talk about that. Like, um, why do you feel like a lot of our young people are portraying something that they're not? Is it social media? Some people say it's social media. Some people say it's because, you know, they don't have people in their homes, and there's all these different reasons that people say this is why folks are acting like this. But I'm just curious, what are your thoughts? And I mean, I have a lot of thought about what I think is going on, but I'm gonna save it. I want to hear from y'all first.
All right. Well, before social media, the same things have been going on. This has been going on since the beginning of time. Generations after generations after generations, there's always been someone who wanted to be just in the bad boys, or part of like the group of, it wasn't cool to be a nerd. It wasn't cool to be, it's like every generation it wasn't cool to be this, and or you were perpetrating to be that, or and anything. And it's not so much, I think it's not so much that I think they're trying to perpetrate or to someone else, it's their own selves. I think that, what's his name? King? He admires his dad so much that
Mm,
he almost that, and I'm just talking about this situation.
right.
I think he admires his dad so much, and he is very well aware of how we love Tip. We love Ti. We've always, from Rubber Band Man, and he has grown up to see that. He's also grown up to be privileged, but he still knows where his dad came from. Ti never forgot where he came from, and with the exception of the big words, and with the exception of not ever wanting to go back to jail, Ti is just one situation away from making a bad decision, ending up right back there.
Right.
So he's a changed man, but he's also seen who Tip used to be. And I think he wants to emulate that person, no matter how much he came up privileged and didn't have to live that life. He still has that man's DNA in him. So, do we really think he's being something he's not? He is and let me tell you, in these big families, there's always one trouble kid. No, I'm sorry. We're supposed to say spirited. You always have one spirited kid. Um, I'm just saying, I'm trying to keep up before they fire my ass out here and tell me I can't never work with kids again. But they, he's just the spirited one. He got Ti in him. He got it in him. The rest of the kids are very musically inclined, creative, and all of that because it comes from both. But he's just that kid, and he's his daddy's son. And he's young, and he's impressionable, and he also grew up in the social media era. But then take that away, and we had that in our generation. How many people did we go to school with that was acting like they were somebody they weren't until somebody showed them that they weren't? It's all perpetrate this and
Right.
perpetrate that until you can't anymore, or until somebody calls you out, or until you really have to prove
Hmm.
yourself, or whatever the case may be. So this isn't unnatural behavior, especially for
Yeah.
that age. We see it in sports. We see it, and I see it. I've seen my son's kids, and I'm like, what, y'all little nigglets? Y'all living a good life around here. What? Shit. All right, it's all fun and games until you go play against the inner city.
Right.
That's how I measure y'all. All right, it's all fun and games. Let's suit you up and go into the inner city and play a little football or a little basketball instead of your little lacrosse and all of this stuff. I know. I'm just saying.
Right.
So he is he wants to be Ti. Ti is his is who he some people admire their mothers or someone in their family. Think about how what kids seen their uncles acting a fool and out there fighting and carrying on, and they thought, oh damn, that was cool, and blah 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 blah. And I think that's all this is. And really, in
Yeah.
reality, everybody that grows up privileged, my husband tells me all the time, "You can take me out of the town that I grew up in. I'm not going to say it, but you sure can't take that town up out of me." And he always remind, "I took you up out of that town, but god damn, that town is still in you." And I still, I still blast my music when coming down the street and all the neighbors are mowing the lawn. And, I still act like a little niglet every now and then. But I mean, who doesn't? But ain't nothing wrong with that boy. He just feeling himself. He really is. He a little
Yeah.
troubled spirited kid. Like Ti say, he just got that motherfucking settled down. He just got him tamed down. If his dad gonna say that, he's just that kid. And I promise you, Ti's parents or whoever raised him, his caregivers, could say the same thing. He just that's his dad. That's he his daddy's kid, y'all. He his
Yeah, I
daddy
think
kid.
I think you nailed it about that's a good observation about Ti and King. But you're hearing about this a lot more, right? You're hearing about these
Mhm.
kids recently that they're doing these mobs and these takeovers and different things like that, and they just acting crazy. You hear about kids out here shooting and just acting a fool, and they from the suburbs. They don't know
Mhm.
nothing about this life, and they out here trying to portray something that they're not. And I'm just, it's a little
Which is why
bothersome.
shows like Scared Straight exist.
Listen, I remember Scared Straight back in the day. I ain't even go front. My daughter acted like she was about to get little. I put her in front
They
of that
all do.
TV and had her watch Scared Straight. That was a wrap. Like maybe that should be part of the school curriculum.
And I'm gonna
They
tell
need
you
to put
this:
that in the school curriculum.
before I worked in the schools, I did 15 years of group home. I was a group home counselor for 15 years. And I worked for a company that had several types of group homes. And the ones that I worked were between the ages of 11 and 13. And then I had the pregnant teenage girls and their babies who stayed there until while they were pregnant. Then they had their babies there and they could stay until their babies turned 1. And then I was at the adolescence one where you went from 16 until you actually aged out into college, military, or whatever. So I have seen the worst of the worst and the best of the best. And every one of these children who are are seeking some kind of attention, and they'll do whatever they have to do to garner that kind of attention. Ti always had attention on him, in jail, out of jail, in the spotlight, out of the spotlight, in the industry. And King is doing the same exact thing. It's just he doesn't understand any press is good press as far as King is concerned, because his dad did the same thing. But the thing is, we trying to save you. We know better, so that's why you need to do better because we know better. But yeah, they got to get a handle on him a little bit. But yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, so I'm gonna hear from you weekday, and then I'm gonna just read a couple of things of what
You
some
can
people
go
have
on and
said.
read it because I don't want to comment on this.
I'm not
I
talking
said this
about
last.
Ti. I'm not talking about
Okay.
Ti. I'm not talking
Just
about King.
overall,
I'm
yeah,
talking about
Okay.
overall. She spoke about Ti and
Okay.
specifically King, but like I said, after
King,
she
because that's
spoke,
what I think.
I'm
Okay.
Mhm,
curious to understand what do you think because it's not just King. King is just the example I
mhm.
use to talk into
Yeah.
into a more broader conversation. I'm asking more about. And I don't know, maybe you haven't seen this. Me having young daughters,
Okay.
and my husband being in the field that he's in, I've seen a lot
Mhm.
of this, and so it is
I
something
mean,
that
well,
does
most of you guys.
concern me.
I mean, the bottom line is, I grew up in the hood. That's not new to me, right? This
Yeah.
behavior
Mhm.
is not new to me. I moved to the suburbs. Yes, I did. I lived in the suburbs, but my dad lived down the way. I still hung with people. And summertime, my grandmother lived in West Philly. We hung out there every summer. I hung out, and my dad's. I went to University City High School, which is no longer in existence in Philly. So it is
Mhm.
so I probably can talk to the view of being in school with in the suburban nights at first, and then going back to what we call the hood in a way, right? It's a first of all, it was a transition. It's a big transition. If
Yes.
you've ever had to experience that, like that, going from one place to another. And I think the first thing you have to do is it's called adaptability. Are you adapting? And so I what happens is people jump into it so quickly because they want to adapt with the people around them. It took me probably almost a half of 6 months before I could say, okay, these people were scaring me at first, because that's not where I was. I mean, from the time that I
Yeah.
was in fourth grade until the time I went to ninth grade, I went to school with majority white tea. And it's no sense in me lying. So I could tell you the transition, but don't get me wrong. Every summer I was at my grandmother's house out in West Philly. So it was still that touch of still, it was never that I missed the skip the beat, but there still was a touch point when it became realistic that I went to school full time in that atmosphere. And it is a transition that I think that it's about your self-esteem. So let's just come right down to it,
Yup.
because I think that's what
Yup.
people are missing that point. First of all, so I'm going to jump to the TI to say this. TI hasn't disassociated himself with the people where he started from. And his son has been around that and he's seen that. So it's like, how you have your good friends. That's my Gigi, my good girlfriend. And no matter what she did, I'm still rocking with her. Well, he's still rocking with a lot of those people that he came up with that may not have gone to prison with him, but he knew when he was going to prison that they probably was on their way or close to. And in that atmosphere, you still, no matter if you live in a high rise like Jefferson's, or you living up on the hill, you allowing those people in your spaces. You're allowing them in your
Hmm.
home and places like that. So I I I think that really they need to check themselves, the parents, right? But now he's a grown ass man. But that's what he was seeing. Then he lived with his grandmother most of the time, and she lived
Yeah, I
closer to
think
the
it was
hood.
him. What?
Right,
Yeah.
it
I
was
thought
him.
he did.
He lived with
Yeah.
his grandmother most of the time, and she lived closer to the hood than anywhere else. So I don't think everybody keeps acting like this young man all of a sudden has done a 360. No,
Mm.
this has been
He
part of his
always moved.
element. He's been
Mhm.
part of his element. It's just that you would hope that your kids would not see that as a way of life. But when you still are bringing those same people in your social circles, and I'm not saying discount, because that's the first thing men I see more so than women who say, "Oh, yeah, y'all want me to walk away from my boys and stuff because I got a little bit of money. I ain't doing that." We still see this behavior with grown ass men.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying not with grown ass women. You don't see it as much with grown ass women,
As
but
much. No, you're
I
right.
know I know some friends that are ghetto ass doctors and lawyers that are grown ass women. I mean, because something like you just said, Ms. Bookworm, you can't take part of that away from you. That is who you are if that's where you started from. But there are people that want to transition to that life, not fully understanding that it's
It ain't what you think
it's
it
not
is.
it's not what you think it is. It's not the direction you want to go in. And if you're trying to build yourself up, you know, this kids play is okay. But now you're 20, you're over the age of 18, where this shit is serious. And it can become serious, and you can find yourself going down a path that you don't want to go down. I've known a lot of people that have turned 18, 21, and they went out with some friends and did something, and now they're spending almost their life in prison. and they weren't from that life, but
Mm-hmm.
that's the direction they went in, because everybody was like, oh, we having a good time. And I'll just say this little story. When we were like kids, we kind of was sheltered in a way, in the sense that you couldn't just go out anywhere you want to. So everybody was like, we going to the skating ring, we having fun every Saturday night. People would call, and so we would be like, I want to go, I want to go. And my grandma said, you ain't going no damn place. Y'all sitting your asses here looking at each other, right? I mean, we were young, we were teenagers. Then the one night she let us go. They weren't doing a goddamn thing at that skating ring. And that's my point in this
You
story, is
was
to
all
tell you that
disappointed.
I was disappointed because everybody was hyping up something that wasn't
That
worthy of being
wasn't.
hyped up.
Yup.
So
Yup.
that's my commentary on it.
Yeah. So I had heard, I had heard this question on social media, basically the question that they had asked was specifically, why are black boys drawn to the streets? And I was looking at the comments and I just found it really interesting, the different variations, and even this conversation here, right? The y'all are pretty much saying the same thing, but y'all are throwing in some
Mhm,
different things about why. And one of them was structure. I think Weekday may have mentioned that, like with her grandmother
mhm.
saying, no, blah, 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 blah. People that grow up with structure a lot of times don't want structure. So they just start to do the total opposite when it comes to that adolescent time frame. Um,
Mhm.
and there was someone that had said, and I'm just going to read a couple because I found them interesting. You
Yeah.
know, um, one of them was saying how we are always in young men, black boys specifically, aren't encouraged to seek education or stability. We have to stop telling them that they need to be the man of the house when they're still children. They're seeking fast money and validation, which is linked to deeply held and conditional insecurities about their place in the world. Um, and this was Jamel Hill that had said this.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Okay.
mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
and then that we need older men to be, mentors, and that we
Oh,
have to
I
raise our
always
girls.
believe that. Yup.
Yeah, we have to raise our girls and make boys figure it out, and it's why the educational gap continues to widen between black women and black men. Um, and then someone else was saying that I don't know if y'all ever heard of Dr. Amos Wilson.
Mm-mm.
But
That sounds
basically, they
familiar.
were saying, yeah, that black boys don't run to the streets because they are broken. They run there because the world has denied them safe places to grow, to be
Right.
affirmed, and to develop power. As Dr. Amos Wilson teaches, when society refuses to nurture a child's identity, the streets will. Power is the ability to define reality and to make others accept that definition as their own. And until we deal with the psychological dimensions of our oppression, we will remain enslaved even if the chains are removed.
Attention. Everyone wants some kind of attention, and that's human and that's natural.
Mm-hmm.
All of us do, with our companions, with our parents, with everything. Um and some of them will by any means necessary. They fall into that trap.
Yeah. So, yes, I just thought that was a good I just thought that was a good thing, that just talk about I feel like a lot of times we're always talking about empowering our young women, our young nieces,
Mhm.
and I think it's important to remember, that we have to also empower our young men, and they are seeking attention. They feel like,
They
a lot of
really
time,
are.
like to Miss Bookworm's point, right? Nerds are out, right? Cool, the thugs, the gangsters,
They want the
that's what's in.
sports jock and, yup,
Yeah,
good girl.
and
It's
so
always been. I remember I had a T-shirt. Good girls love bad boys. Oh my gosh, I had to get rid of that
yes.
thing. I had a thought. I was like, oh, hold on. This is going
Right.
to the donation
But
pile.
it's true, and I just think it's important
It
to,
is.
allow our young boys to have feelings, to cry, to try something in the arts field without making them feel
Yep,
feminine, and just
right.
letting them be able to express themselves so that they don't feel like they have to take
Just
to the
be
streets to be masculine.
Yep.
and to be wanted and to be liked and to be all of those things. So it's definitely a conversation that I think will be continued to be had. I was glad to see it being started and having that conversation on social media, and I just thought I'd ask you ladies, your thoughts on that. But great conversation. So we are going to go ahead and take care of this dirty laundry.
And it's surprising.
Ooh,
And
stankin',
it's
stankin'.
surprising. It wasn't really dirty, and it's surprising that you're talking about it. We need to redefine masculinity. So, um,
Ooh.
I think we do. I think it's the same when we talk about the young ladies and the direction that we see them going into. That's totally different than what we were normally seeing, right? So, I will first say that the letter is around co-parenting. It really just really talks about
Oh, that's
co-parenting.
a good one.
So yeah, so let's talk about it. So okay, hi,
Let me hit
hey
my
auntie. Okay, hey aunties. I normally would not write it in, but I trust the aunties will guide me in the right direction. I'm a 39-year-old male. I know you do not get too many letters from men, but I need your help. My mom is gone, and I only have uncles and two brothers. I need aunties at this point. I'm not married, but I have a 10-year-old son. My child's mother and I were together for the first 5 years of my child's life, but things did not work out. She's a great mom, and we co parent. I do not live far from them, and my son lives with me for 2 weeks out of the month. Well, she is now engaged and getting ready to get married. The dude and I are good. We have a great understanding of my participation in my son's life. He does have two kids of his own from a past relationship. The problem is that her fiance has a job in another city. She is saying that I can come visit or move to where they're going so we can continue to co parent. I'm not happy with this situation because I have family and friends where I currently live. She says I'm being selfish since I work from home and it's just a 4-hour drive. I want to know if I should consider moving because I do not want to miss any parts of my son's growing up. But I'm dating someone special, and my family's important to me, so this is a hard decision to make. I'm not asking for you to make my decision for me, but but if I decide to stay, how would you approach the subject? I'm now being taken out of my child's life. I would be a part-time dad, and that's how they ended. So, a lot to unpack with this one because I can't connect to your Wi-Fi network. Now this bitch gonna talk. Shut up, in the help section of your Alexa app. Alexa, shut up. Who asked you? Okay, I'm sorry. I can't connect to your Wi-Fi network. This girl gonna make me hurt her. Let me. Instructions in the help section of your Alexa app. I'm gonna have to plug her ass. I did you hear me ask her for anything? Okay, so back to the letter. So that listen, she got me off my square. I was going to say some nice things, and I'm still going to say some nice things, but after I curse her ass out, Alexa, you too much out of fucking control, bitch. I don't know who the fuck you think you are at my house.
I'm gonna need you to stop. Weekday, I gotta pee. I've been trying to hold my pee, but you talking to her like she real and cussing her out. I'm not gonna be able to hold my bladder, y'all. I'm
I,
trying. I'm trying.
okay, okay. Well, you listen. You can run to the bathroom. You got a couple seconds. You can go. Cause this
I'll
Alexa, I'm
be.
getting ready to unplug her ass. I don't know who the hell
I'll
she
be
thinks she
right
is
back.
talking in the middle of my conversation. She had lost her damn mind. The
Wait,
disrespect.
I will say this. Wait a minute. I will say this. I am happy to hear a male uh letter, a male write in a letter. Yeah.
I
I
am
like
too.
that. I like that
Yeah.
a lot.
I
That's
think that
super cool.
sometimes we always, and I think be
Assume
that.
that it's always gonna be a woman and
Yeah,
yeah.
and and I was, and I'll talk about how, I'm proud that, we keep talking about these people not stepping up, not wanting to be a parent, and to find out that somebody really wants to be.
Really wants to be. Oh, yeah. Oh,
I mean,
there's ton of them
there's
out
a,
there.
there's a lot of them out there, but people don't talk about those parents,
Nope.
right? They don't.
Nope,
They
they
don't go
rather
around.
talk about the bums and the deadbeats and the
Yeah,
mhm.
somebody that I'm still trying to collect the child support from him from 25 years ago. No, I mean, but there's some real men out here that said,
Yeah.
"Listen, I'm just gonna man up. I want my children." You know, things just didn't work out. All right, so be your bad. Yeah, I stopped cursing out, Alexa. Um, I'll say this about the letter because, young man, I'm gonna be really honest with you. I love that you stepped up and stayed in it, right? And we were just talking about how our young boys need more role models than not.
Guidance. Yep.
They
Yep.
need more guidance, and that it
Mhm.
sounds like you and the future stepfather fully understand the depth of what it takes. We know that and we always talk about this, and I said this last week. There are a lot of good parents out here, right? Because there's no book on parenting, so nobody can't tell you that you're doing something wrong or right, but they can tell you, let's redirect, right? Some things we might point our children in the wrong direction, not thinking that it will impact them greatly in the future. um for the question of, it sounds like you don't want to move, and I think that at this point you probably need to get into a situation where you decide, okay, what's this going to look like? Am I going to get him on the holidays and during the summer? How are we going to do this? If he's 4 hours away, you know, I'm not going to make every basketball game if he's in basketball, any type of sport. So how are you going to work that out? How are you going to conceive that? I always told people, if I ever had children and it was a son and me and the father didn't work out, if I thought he was a good parent and was gonna be a good parent, I would let my son go with his dad. I think that's the other part that's missed in this, is that as much as I hear his wife saying, oh, excuse me, his mother, and he didn't call her baby mama, so he had some respect for her.
No, he
Um,
did. Yes, he
he
did
did,
have a lot of respect for her.
he
Yep.
said she's a great mom.
Yep.
But I think that she needs to also understand, as well as she brings another male figure into this young man's life, he's used to his dad. I mean, if you're spending that much time with this child, then that's going to be something that's going to be a miss. So it's hard to make these decisions because I feel like she shouldn't put her life on hold. And you as the father shouldn't put your life on a hold for your children, because what's going to happen is your children are going to grow and they're going to move forward and they're going to pick up their lives, and they're not gonna bring you along for the ride, unfortunately, a lot of times. So you gotta think this out fully. My suggestion is sit down and have a conversation, have a real plan put together to say, okay, how are we gonna start co-parent in such a way that I don't really miss much, but I'm not ready to make that commitment of moving away, because that's really what it is. You don't want to make that commitment when you said you're in a serious relationship. You didn't say you're getting married, but you said I'm in a serious relationship and you're not ready to leave your family. And I can understand that after you said that you lost your mother. It's very hard to make those transitions and move away from people that you know and probably have been there for your comfort at the same time. But you can still be a great dad. Nothing's going to ever stop you from being a great dad, and it's never going to make your son feel like you're not a great dad. And you're not being selfish. I don't care what she says, that you just won't pick up your life and move to where she's at, because how about things don't work out for her? Then you're stuck somewhere and you're unhappy. And I can tell you, children, people, I keep saying this, children feel your drama. They feel it. They know it. They hear you. Some of these mothers are crying every night. Don't think your kids ain't hearing you. They are. So I want you to be understand that it's really important that you let him know that he's the most important person in your life, because it seems like that's the case, and you build a good plan for you and for you to continue to co-parent. So, Miss Bookworm,
I
that's my feedback.
agree. There should be a definite before anything is done, any moves are made, everything needs to be written out. But even before then, I my suggestion would be you need to talk to her and say, no one is doing anything until they're married. Once you're married, then go ahead. But if it's only 4 hours, cuz 4 hours is not a problem. If it's 4 hours, let him move, let him get settled in his new job, let the fiance, let him get, everything situated with his job. If this man is serious about you and the son that you have together, then he'll send for her. They'll still get married. He could come home. He can come up on the weekends. But I don't think pulling this kid out of school, a school that he's used to going to, number one, um, and still being able to stay with each parent, because he said he gets them 2 weeks out of the month, then that means that both of you live in close proximity for this child's schooling not to be interrupted. Therefore, until you are married, then etch out a plan, an agreement that is signed and notarized, because now it's going to have to, whatever season it is, you're just going to have to make, those trips up there. If the games are on the weekend, maybe twice a week or whatever, you have to figure out your holidays. Remember, there's always odd and even years. So if it's a issue with where he wakes up or where he spends Christmas or Easter, okay, this year, if I have him on Easter, on all the odd years, and Christmas on all the even years, whatever the case may be, just figure it out. Um, 4 hours is not a end all be all. It really isn't. But I would, as the father, let her know that you don't appreciate any moves being made until she is married. Because just like Weekday said, she can get out there, then you go out there, and then everything goes awry. Now you're in the new place, they're in the new place, and some of these moves did not even need to be made until thorough commitments have been made, and all that it is marriage. And I would definitely put it out there that you would like to have your son full time. Put it out there. Put it out there. I mean, you have every right to have full or primary custody or living custody, whatever the case may be. But you guys got to figure something out. And how old is the little boy? 10? 10? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, he's
that's
So,
10.
yeah.
And I
yeah,
was just going to
10
mention
years
that.
old.
Yeah.
You're moving with him. 10 is a very sketchy age. You're going from fourth
Yep.
to fifth to sixth. Yeah. I, mm, I would suggest y'all going ahead, get married, enjoy y'all married life and all of that. He could stay here. Put it out there. There's no reason
Yeah.
why you can't have your son full time. He's old enough.
That's what I was going to suggest. A couple things. One, the fact that he is 10 years old, that means he's either in the fourth grade or the fifth grade, getting ready to go
Mhm.
to middle school.
Mhm.
Yep.
Middle school is a very pivotal point in his life,
Mhm.
and I think making these type of drastic changes are going to be really hard on him. And I think it's always important for parents to remember it's not being selfish for him not to
No.
want to uproot his life.
Right.
In my opinion, you have to both be thinking about what's best for the child and not
That's
necessarily
it.
what's best for
That's
you.
it.
I'm happy that she's getting married and she's found love. I agree with Bookworm. I wouldn't be making any changes until y'all are officially married and there is a home for my son to go to. That's number one.
Yep.
Number two, I think it is very wise, and I agree with Weekday. You know, let him raise his son, and he's in a familiar place that he's grown up in, that he understands is already about to be a 4 hour change difference. Why
Yep.
put on that change of mommy and daddy don't live near each other on top of I got to go and make new
Mhm.
friends in this new environment?
Mhm.
He's a boy, you're a man. To me, it just makes sense. This is a great opportunity for you to say, hey, let me take him on full time. Yeah, he can still see her on the weekends. He can
Oh,
still see her during
absolutely.
pivotal points.
Mhm.
I mean, like Bookworm said, 4 hours is not that bad,
No.
right? But
Gosh.
I
You
also
meet
feel like
halfway.
her telling him that he's being selfish is her being selfish, because you haven't really
Yes.
thought about the child in this situation. And I'm like I said, I'm glad that you're getting married and all of that, but you have to also be able to say to your fiance, listen, I have a child, we co-parent, I can't be uprooting my life
Mhm.
because of a job that you got. You may need to try to find your dream job closer to this area, because I need to stay here and support my child's father just like he's supporting me. That's
Yep.
really ultimately what I think should
Mhm.
have happened personally.
That's it. That's it.
But since it didn't happen, I would go for full custody and work out the arrangements and visitation and stuff after that. But what's best is that the child has as much familiarity and stability and consistency as possible. So,
And involve the child. Involve the
yes.
child. Ask him, both of you together, not one-sided,
Mhm.
this sided. Just like get his feelings on it. Don't say that
Agreed.
his decision is going to be like, don't put the kind of pressure, but like say, hey, because one thing, kids are resilient, but transition is hard.
Hard. Amen.
Okay?
Yes.
It's
Very
just
hard.
hard.
Very hard. And at age 10, those middle school years, I mean, those are the
Oh,
hardest years.
child. Oh
So
my
you
God.
don't want to have too much uproot and
Mm-mm.
change and all of that in the middle of him going from
I
elementary
see it
school to
every
middle
day.
school. Don't
I
don't
see it all the
don't do that
time.
if you can avoid it. So, wow. Yeah, that was perfect timing weekday with the discussion that we had about just
Yes.
young black boys and what they're
Mhm.
having to deal with, because even this situation where he's doing all the right things and he's being called selfish, like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
our black men, our black boys often get unfortunately, the
Yeah.
shorter side of the stick, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
So
I was this week I was ready to man bash, and then I said, "There's some good people in the world. There's some good people,
there
and I'm
really
gonna leave it."
are. There really are.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah. So, all right. Well, if you have a question for the aunties that you want us to answer, hit us up at 3auntiesandamic at gmail.com or 3auntiesandamic on any social media platform. The three is spelled out THREE. Um, we are aunties. I mean, you done seen Weekday over here yelling at the damn Alexa.
Alexa.
Yeah. Damn, that damn. I'm
I
not gonna
couldn't
mention
hold
her
my
name.
bladder.
No, you got listen.
We aunties for real, but we gonna give you just that auntie advice. So,
This is
you
how
know,
aunties are.
yeah. So feel
Mm,
free to reach out and maybe and tune in, and maybe your dirty laundry will be aired in an upcoming episode. Um, if you are new, thank you for joining. Hope you are not a stranger. Like us on any social media platform. Make sure you stream us on your favorite podcast platform. Like us so that you don't miss a single episode. And follow our YouTube videos. And for our loyal listeners, thank you. You are the best. All right, ladies, until next time, peace and love.
We love you, nieces and nephews.
Smooches.